morning everybody. Just going to apologise about the wind. Hopefully there's not going to be too much wind noise. Right, I've just had the engineer around to have a look at this. Looks like it's going to go and get fixed. Yes! And hopefully that'll be quite quick, although apparently the main backstop on that is likely to be getting the parts out of Tesla. I'm hopeful that won't be too much of an issue, but I hope I get it back by Christmas, because we've got places to go, and you know, courtesy car is a bit of an issue. I somehow managed to not put a proper courtesy car on my policy, so it's just the free one that you can get through the body shop. I might just drive my wife's car for a bit. At some point I'm gonna have to put fuel in the thing. Oh, I tell you, it was a proper old shock. So I'm on the A21 dual carriageway. There are cars everywhere because it's 4:15 on Sunday and everyone's driving back to London for the next working week. And yet, just out of nowhere, this deer comes. I'm in the slow lane doing 50, right? And the deer comes from the fast lane into the slow lane. I don't know what that deer was thinking. You know, really. Unbelievable. Anyway, I know what it was thinking after the accident. Something else though, I did get a really strong sense of safety and security from this car. You know, I mean, it was quite a thud when we hit the deer. I'm going to guess it was a 30-40 kilo animal. You know, not as much as a full-grown man. It could have been more, actually. It could have been 60. You know, I think about it. It was a proper-sized deer. You know, the back of the thing was like about here, and it had a neck like that, and a proper deer's head. And I saw all of this perfectly for about a tenth of a second as it leapt sideways, you know, as it leapt into the headlights of my car, and then a tenth of a second later, bang. You know, just didn't have any time to react at all. Luckily, none of the airbags went off. Otherwise, we'd have been stuck in the cold at the side of the road for a long time, waiting for a proper pickup recovery person to turn up. I'm going to miss this car a lot. Tell you what, if you're going to be in an accident, there is something to be said for having a bit of weight behind you. Luckily, the animal didn't go over the car, it went round to the side. I mean, it's just really nothing that you can do. Nothing at all. Tell you what, the engineer chap who came out, he seemed quite impressed with Teslas, and apparently he said out of the people he sees with them, they always say they love the car, which is no surprise to me. I know a lot of Tesla owners, and as far as I can tell, they all love the car. And it's easy to see why. You know, 106,000 miles, and you should have seen the look on the engineer's face when he was checking out the brake discs, the original brake discs, the ones it came with. He was like, wow. They're 50% worn, less than 50% worn, probably the discs. The pads are only 50% worn, and they're the original ones that came with the car. It's mad. The amount of money, I've saved like £1,000 in discs and pads, at least. On top of the fuel, and the road tax, and not the congestion charge really, because I don't go into London much. Oh yeah, I'm not buying exhausts. When the last car I had that was an internal combustion engine car, by the time it hit 106,000 miles, it had had at least one new exhaust and a repair on the exhaust, totaling at least £1,000. And that's the great thing. These cars seem to be mechanically pretty rock solid, touch wood. But bloody Bambi. So I'm going to go for a run now, and you know, I'm having a fantastic day. I've been so stressed all week long, which is why I didn't shoot any vlog posts. Waiting for Friday when the engineer could come and tell me that my car was gonna be fixed. Because I am terrified of a write-off with that car. My original plan is to keep it for 200,000 miles, by which point, between all the repair cost savings and the maintenance savings and the fuel savings and the road tax and all the rest, you add it all up together and you're basically going to knock out the entire cost of the car. It'll basically be free at around 200,000 miles. The problem is that sort of thing isn't really insured, because they're supposed to, if you get your car written off, give you an amount of money that is enough to replace your existing car with in the same sort of condition and age, or similar. I can see how people who've not driven an EV might think that similar was a diesel. Nice and cut, not similar at all. You're gonna need brake discs and pads regularly, you're gonna need the exhaust looking at, you've got emissions problems you might have to look at. There's so many things that can go wrong on one of those cars, it just blows my mind. Yeah. Oh, and then there's the fuel. You know, at least £200 a month, certainly for me. Now it's time for me to go for my run. Only slight problem at the moment is our washing machine is broken. Yay. Oh, and the other great thing is I managed to pay a parking fine when we had actually paid for the parking. They sent me the letter through, it said it's 100 quid or 60 if you pay it in 14 days. And I was like, oh, drat it, Soph must have forgotten to pay for parking that day. Soph then showed me the bank statement with the £2.85 coming out, and I was like, oh. I rang the company, and guess what? If you've paid the fine already, then as far as they're concerned, that's it, you're liable. We've had some very serious jingle bills so far this Christmas. Right, I'm gonna use I still can't believe they actually don't fall out. The only slight thing I have noticed though is if you're on the running machine or something and you're exercising and you try and dab the sweat, you need to be careful not to dab the air because any contact and it just comes out. Can't remember if I mentioned it already, but we've got a new running machine now because the last one conked out at the end of spring. You know, it's summertime, we run outside. But, you know, then it got all cold and wet and windy and UK-like. And I figured, well, we'd probably better get a... Oh, and did I mention, these things are pretty good for use as a phone speaker. Also, I just want to quickly talk about wheels. Beautifully coloured by Petrolhead Detailing. And so these are now pristine 19-inch wheels. When they're coloured like that, there's actually quite a lot of similarity between the 19-inch wheels that came standard with my car and the Arachnids, which I love the look of. Speaking of Arachnids, I don't need these. These are brand spanking new 21-inch Arachnids with brand new tyres and the Continental tyre pressure monitoring sensors fitted. So for basically any car that isn't a early 2014 plate, those are set up, ready to go. They just need to be put on the car and the tracking sorted out. So if anyone wants these Arachnid wheels for, say, a Christmas present, drop me an email and time for that run now. Right. See you in a mo. I can live with that. Oh. Right, it's time for me to go get Jasper from school now and give the garage a ring and find out what they've got to say. And one other thing that just occurred to me, for me, the reason to run is, oh my word, it makes me feel so good. So much better than if I don't know how I would get through the winter time without running. Right. Time to ring the old car fixing people. This little case is brilliant. It charges up the earbuds when you put it in and it's got a considerably larger battery in it, so boom! Well, that was kind of to be expected and a bit on the annoying side. I mean, it'll be fine, but I think it's going to take a little while to get it sorted. Like, you know, the estimating guy that I just spoke to said he'd be surprised if it was this side of Christmas. 3 weeks to get some parts and then, you know, another couple of weeks to do the work. It's, oh, madness. Anyway, that will be the end for the car updates today. So I'm going to say goodbye. Sorry, it's to do with Jasper's Christmas present. That was a sidetrack. We're not sidetracking anymore, we're saying goodbye. I hope you've enjoyed today's vlog post. If you have, remember to like it, share it, subscribe if you haven't already, follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you don't already, and I will see you tomorrow for the next instalment of my daily vlog. Bye. Goodbye. I hope you've enjoyed it.